We are at chapter 26. For a moment there was silence in the room. Will was speechless. It was the last thing he expected to hear from Ormond. He recovered, knowing that his reaction was too late, but determined to try to bluff his way through anyway. "A ranger, Lord Ormond," he said. "Why would you think I know anything about rangers? I'm just a simple juggler." He forced a self-deprecating smile and continued, "And as you've pointed out several times, a pretty disappointing one." Ormond made a dismissive gesture and sank painfully onto one of the straight-back chairs in front of his table. "Don't bandy words with me. I don't have the strength. Look, I need help, and I need it quickly. They finally got to me, just as they got to my father. As you can see, I'm sick, and before too much longer, I'll sink into a coma, and then there's nothing to stop them." "They?" Will asked. "Who are they?" Ormond groaned again, holding his side and stomach and behind, bending over as a wave of pain hit him. Will could see sweat forming on the man's face. He was obviously in a bad way. "Karen!" Ormond gasped finally. "Who the hell do you think? He's the one behind my father's sickness. He's the one trying to take over the castle." "Karen," Will repeated, but he paused, and Ormond's stronger now that the tide of pain had receded a little, continued angrily. "Oh, of course, he's taking you in, just like everybody else. I suppose you imagined I was behind the whole plot to get rid of my father." He looked up at Will for confirmation. Seeing it in the young man's eyes, he nodded resignedly. "Most people do. It's so easy to think that way when a person is unpopular, isn't it?" There was nothing for Will to say. It was precisely the way he had reacted. Now he thought about it, he disliked Ormond, and the dislike had led to the conclusion that the temporary Lord of Bakendale was not to be trusted. By contrast, Sir Karen's open, friendly nature had led him to view the man as a potential ally, but still there was only Ormond's word to go on here. The sallow-faced man continued, "Look, you may be many things, but I doubt if you're really a juggler." He held up a hand to stop Will's automatic protest. "You're talented enough, I suppose, although your music isn't to my liking, but you gave yourself away the other day when I interviewed you." "Gave myself away?" Will's mind flashed back to the conversation he had with Ormond just before Alice's arrival. "I asked about your mandola, remember? I asked if it was a Gilperin." "Yes," Will said slowly. He wondered where this was going. He remembered a few moments of confusion when Ormond had asked the question, moments where he had tried to cover up the fact that he hadn't heard of the Master Luthier Gilperin. "It was simply that his name escaped me at the time, Lord Ormond," he said. As I said to you, a country musician could never afford a real Gilperian instrument, so the name simply escaped me for a few seconds. There is no Gilperin." "The name is Gillet," Ormond said flatly. "Any true juggler should have known that." Will closed his eyes briefly in anger. It was a very old trick that Ormond had pulled on him, but it had worked, and now he saw no way out of the trap. Ormond continued, "So then I checked your horse. It's very similar to the breed the rangers use, and it seems to be very well trained as well. Even your clothing gives a hint." He gestured to the gaudy black and white cloak that Will wore. "It's similar to the camouflage cloaks rangers wear. Of course, the colors are different, but in a winter space such as we have here, black and white would be ideal. I imagine you could disappear into the countryside in moments if you chose to." "It's a fascinating theory, my lord," Will said, "but unfortunately it's really no more than a series of coincidences." He saw the anger flare briefly in Ormond's eyes, and then the other man replied, "Don't waste my time. I don't have much left. They've managed to poison me the same way that they did my father. The pain is becoming worse and worse, and if in a matter of hours I'll be unconscious, and then they'll have everything they want. You have to get me out of here." "You want to get out of here?" Will said, the surprise evident in his voice. That was the last thing he had expected. "I have to, don't you see?" Ormond said desperately. "I've tried to fight them for the past weeks. But they've gradually influenced the castle. Kieran is recruiting his own men and gradually getting rid of the ones who are loyal to me. I have barely a dozen men I can depend on these days, while he must have a score of more men loyal to him." Another spasm of pain racked him, and he doubled over, groaning in agony. He was unable to speak for some time, then he continued in a weak voice, "Karen wants the castle. He's an intelligent cousin, so there's no way he will ever get his hands on it legally. For some time I've suspected that he's made an arrangement with the Scotty warlord to hand the Shire over, as long as Karen keeps the castle. If I'm right, once the snow clears, Scotty will come through the passes and occupy the entire Shire, without Mackendale to threaten their lines of supply, they'll be able to besiege Norgate and the whole fief will fall before spring is out. Is that what you want? He added bitterly. He could see Will was wavering and he went on. If Kieran has me and my father in his power, he won't hesitate to kill us both and to take control. Oh, he won't do it, obviously. He isn't powerful enough to get away with that yet. That's why he's used the old legend about the sorcerer. He's poisoned my father. He's keeping him unconscious, and now he's planning to do the same for me. If we both die of the so-called sorcerer's curse, he'll have a free hand to take control, and nobody will oppose him. He'll be the only living relative. But if I can get away, he can't claim to be Lord of Mackendale. As long as I'm alive, he's stalemated, and he gains nothing by killing my father. On the contrary, he'll probably keep him alive as a hostage until the Scotty get here. Kieran must play his hand carefully. If he's too obvious, the countryside would rise up against him. But once he's established as Lord of Mackendale, it'll be a different story. Then, by the time the Scotty arrive to support him, it'll be too late. How did he poison you? Will asked, and Ormond shrugged. I have to eat and drink. Who knows? I've tried to be careful and have my food prepared separately, but they may have got to my servants, or maybe they got their damn poison into the water. He gestured to the books on the black arts that lay on the work table. I felt it coming on for days. They do it slowly, you see. I've been going through those damn books trying to find some cure, some antidote, but so far without any success. Will looked at the books as the other man pointed to them. Oh, I see, he said. I thought... He didn't finish that thought. Ormond smiled grimly at him. You thought I was a sorcerer. You thought I was behind my father's illness, he said. Will nodded. There was no point in denying it. It seemed a logical theory, he said. Ormond nodded wearily. As I said, when a person is unpopular, it's so easy to think badly of him. He rose from the chair, moving painfully. Now my best hope is that you are a ranger, because I need help getting away from this castle, and I doubt if a simple juggler would be up to that task. He paused and then added, I assume that Lady Gwendolen was also more than she seems. How did you? Will began, then stopped, realizing he had said too much. Ormond smiled. Don't assume that because a person is unpopular they can't think, he said. The two of you turned up virtually at the same time. Then Lady Gwendolen had you summoned to her rooms. Very convenient. And then you both just happened to go riding at the same time. I'm not a fool. Events had moved so fast that the past few minutes that Will had forgotten about the need to warn Alice to stay out of sight. Making a decision, he appraised Ormond of the situation, telling him of the surprising appearance of John Buttle. The castle lord frowned thoughtfully. That is a problem, he said. He's one of Kieran's men, of course, a new recruit. Kieran seems to find every attached thief and murderer who drifts through the Shire. They gravitate to him. At the same time, he's getting rid of the men who might be loyal to me. I'll send Xander to pass your message to her. Best of you aren't seen by this man Buttle, I think. Then, let's think about how the three of us can get out of here. He reached for a small silver bell on his table and rang it. There was a pause, then the door opened and Xander entered. Quickly, Ormond gave him his instructions while Will dashed off a short note for him to carry to Alice. The clerk, looking worried, folded the note into the top of his jerkin and left the room. Another thought had been nagging at Will. He voiced it now. The Night Warrior, the apparition in Grimsdale Wood. Is Kieran behind them as well? What does he gain from them? Oh, you've seen them, have you? Ormond asked. Then he shrugged. To be honest, I don't know. Perhaps this former healer, Malcolm, is behind them all. Or maybe it's Kieran. Maybe they're even working together. Then again, Kieran may have simply taken advantage of the apparition to use the old legend to his own advantage. He shrugged in pain again. In any event, we're going to have to find out what Malcolm is up to, he said. Will looked at him, a question in his eyes, and he elaborated. He may well be the only one who can heal me. I need you to take me to him. Oh my gosh, look at that. Anyway, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to read up to chapter 26. If you'd like to listen to me read chapter 27, then please stay posted and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye.